Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhoundial, and the inevitable has happened. The Epstein files have made their debut in Parliament. Leading the charge today was Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi, who opened a new front against the government and accused the Prime Minister of selling Bharat Mata to the US. These are his words, these are not my words. Raising questions on the trade deal, he said that India's data, its farmers and its textile industry has been left vulnerable after the deal. He questioned why India's tariffs had gone up from 3% to 18%, while the tariff on the US has gone down to 0. He questioned why America has been allowed to dictate where India buys oil from. He questioned why India has committed to spending $500 billion in US purchases, but there is no reciprocal commitment from the US. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these are all pertinent questions that one expected the Leader of Opposition to raise. But then came the bombshell. He gave the trade deal with the US an Epstein spin and dragged Minister Puri right in. There was an immediate objection from the chair and the Treasury benches, with Kiren Rijiju accusing Rahul Gandhi of lying. Here's how it played out in Parliament.
You know why he sold India? Because they are choking him. Speaker sir, मैंने बोला जब चोक लगाते हैं दूसरे व्यक्ति की आंख में देखते हो तो डर दिखता है सर, पीएम की आंख में डर दिखता है. एक सर एप्स्टीन केस. Sir, 3 million files are still locked up.
राहुल जी ने कहा कि हमारा देश, भारत देश को आपने सेल कर दिया है. मैं सदन में कहना चाहता हूं, आज तक कोई माई के लाल पैदा नहीं हुआ जो भारत को सेल कर सकता है, कोई खरीद सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है. और आपने प्रधानमंत्री जी को कहा, मैं दावे के साथ कहता हूं, इस देश का आज तक सबसे मजबूत प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी है. कोई हिला नहीं सकते, कोई हिला नहीं सकते.
There is a businessman called Mr. Anil Ambani. I want to ask the question, why is he not in jail? The reason he's not in jail is because his name is in the Epstein files. That's why he's not in jail.
Rahul ji, जो भी
I'd also like to ask Mr. Puri, who introduced him
Mr. Chair
to Epstein.
Mr. Rahul, no,
I know who introduced him.
आपने जितना एलिगेशन लगाया है, चेयरमैन ने रूलिंग देने के बावजूद भी आपने एलिगेशन लगाया, आपको ऑथेंटिकेशन करना पड़ेगा. All the points he has made have serious repercussion. He must authenticate on all the allegations he has made.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's the sword of a privilege motion that is hanging on Rahul Gandhi's head, but the Leader of Opposition will not stop. He repeated his claim outside Parliament as well, and within an hour got a response from Petroleum Minister Puri. Mr. Puri, in a press conference, called Rahul a buffoon and said that while he had met Epstein on a few occasions as part of a peace delegation and exchanged exactly one single mail with the sex offender, but that too was in context of Made in India.
मैंने कहा कि मैं ऑथेंटिकेट कर दूंगा. डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ जस्टिस फाइल्स हैं एप्स्टीन पे, पुरी का नाम उसमें है. अदानी का केस चल रहा है, उसमें समन्स आई हैं. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने 18 महीने के लिए रिप्लाई नहीं दिया है. डायरेक्ट प्रेशर है प्राइम मिनिस्टर पे, वो सब जानते हैं. बट मेन बात ये है, देखिए, बिना प्रेशर कोई हिंदुस्तान का प्राइम मिनिस्टर ये नहीं कर सकता है.
3 million emails have been released. All right? In these 3 million emails, I am in New York for 8 years. Now, the Epstein files, the Yuva Neta should know, are about wrongdoing, criminal offenses. The Epstein files are about charges that he had an island where he used to take people to indulge their sexual fantasies, charges of pedophilia, and there are victims of this. Those victims have brought cases against the people in authority. My interaction has got nothing to do with that.
मुझे तो बहुत बड़ा उम्मीद नहीं, राहुल गांधी जी सुधरेंगे, कुछ अच्छा बात करेंगे, ऐसा बहुत ज़्यादा उम्मीद तो अभी नहीं है. लेकिन क्योंकि मैं पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर हूं, वो नेता प्रतिपक्ष है, तो उम्मीद नहीं होते हुए भी हम आशा करते हैं कि कुछ सुधर जाए. तो आज भी सोचा कि कुछ अच्छा भाषण देंगे, सुधरा ही नहीं. आज तो पूरा हम लोग को बहुत नाखुश कर दिया उन्होंने। हम लोग ध्यान से हमारा 45 मिनट बर्बाद कर दिया।
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the battle lines are once again drawn. Question is, why did the leader of the opposition cast a Epstein shadow on the Indo-US trade deal? Does he have any proof? And if yes, why was that proof not presented in the Lok Sabha? Is this just Rahul's classic shoot and scoot politics at play? Or was there really some kind of surrender? And honestly, is it mature for the leader of opposition to try and make a scandal out of the Epstein files just because it mentions the name of a sitting minister 3 or 4 times? After all, there is not a shred of evidence of any hanky-panky business going on. Was Rahul's speech today, ladies and gentlemen, just nonsense? It's again a word that has been used by him to describe the trade deal. Or was it simply a political narrative that is par for the course given the political times we live in? My guest this evening, thank you very much for joining us. Manish Bariyar is a leader from the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Good evening, Manish ji. Tushar Gupta, political analyst. Good evening, Tushar. Thank you very much. Both of them batting for the same team. Bhavya Narsimha Murthy is spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us on the broadcast. Good evening, Bhavya. Good to have you back. And Sanjay Jha, long time no see, joining us on the broadcast. Bhavya and Sanjay ji, again, batting on the same team. But as I always say, we are all Team India by the end of the day. Thank you very much, all of you, for being with us. Bhavya, I'm going to start with you. Please help me. Chalo, let me ask you a simple question. Have you gone to the Department of Justice ka website and done a basic search of those 3 million files? Because if you do, Bhavya, which I did, Sonia Gandhi is mentioned, Rahul Gandhi is mentioned, Arvind Kejriwal is mentioned, and even Anna Hazare is mentioned. But they are mentioned as part of articles that have been written by foreign publications.
Okay.
Right? Right? Now, Hardeep Puri is saying, yes, I've met the man 2-3 times as part of a delegation, and there is exactly one email I've exchanged with him, that too on Make in India. He's saying this, and he's saying, if you have anything else on me, come out and give us the proof. Now, is it right to be, fleshing out a scandal around Mr. Puri and the Epstein files where none exists? Should the leader of opposition have behaved a little more maturely in the parliament today?
No, it's very convenient for you all to use this maturity angle. Rahul Gandhi, as a leader of opposition, he holds the dignity of the chair. And you all need to behave. You can't just call him immature because he is keeping the facts in front of you. Here, whether it is Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi, Epstein, it doesn't mention it as, they danced or sang in front of Israel.
No.
To convince the US president. He has said Narendra Modi has danced and sang.
For Mr. Puri, is there any dance sang going to the infamous island? No. There is an exchange of exactly one email.
I was talking about Narendra Modi.
Bhavya, there is an exchange of exactly one email.
Yeah. He's directly
and it is being portrayed as a scandal
with the
that compromised the trade deal.
Child sexual offender, this man has a direct email exchange. As you mentioned, the other leaders of India have been mentioned in one of the other articles.
Correct.
But that person, Epstein, has a direct email with this person. And then about Narendra Modi, he says that, he sang, he danced or whatever. And then Ambani, he refers to Ambani as his Modi's man. What is happening here? Isn't it the duty of the leader of opposition to question this? And you people just call it immature?
I want to ask you where the scandal is that Rahul Gandhi tried to put across to Parliament today. Where is the scandal, I want to ask you?
Epstein's files.
I don't care much about whether Anil Ambani went to the infamous island or not. Here the question is of a sitting minister who has come and done a lamba chauda press conference saying, where is the proof? There is no hanky-panky that happened. There is one email exchange, I'm telling you. Isme scandal kahan hai? And how does it compromise the trade deal?
If a proper investigation is done, everything will come out. Whether it is why the government did not reply to the notice given to Adani for 18 months, or whether it is about Anil Ambani, or whether it is about Puri, or whether it is about Narendra Modi. Everything will come out. But it's as if, when people are asked not to even talk about Epstein's file, where a prime minister's name has been mentioned and made mockery out of the chair, how do you expect us to prove it?
let Manish Bariar, ek minute. What do you mean? And if you can't prove anything in Parliament, should you be presenting? No. Should you be presenting, things in Parliament which cannot be proven?
If a website of Department of Justice of US government,
so fair, even Manish can do a Google search and say Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi are mentioned, and Anna Hazare is also mentioned. Anyway, Manish, please respond.
Good evening to you and my co-panelists and viewers. I didn't expect anything better than what she's saying. If her leader speaks such kind of a rubbish, what do you expect she would do? She has to defend. And this is something which has been going on. And I have said earlier also.
Bhavya, come on, let him speak, yaar.
This is a personal grudge.
Let the Prime Minister finish.
The family was in Bofors. It's known to since last 20, 25, 30 years. He has an inferiority complex. There is no doubt over it. And he's looking for something that will stick. But he doesn't understand that these leaders are made of different kind of a material itself. What his family has done, and I don't want to get into that. He has been doing this for ages now. He thinks that if he uses good English, then it's going to stick without any modicum of information, without understanding the context. He's insulting the nation, making a mockery of this, of the country. And that's highly irresponsible as far as a leader of opposition is concerned. You can actually, you can criticize on issues. That's what the leader of opposition must do. But don't insult the country. And that's what he is doing. He's taking frivolous issues and making it an issue inside the parliament where the discussion could have been much more deeper,
Sanjay Jha,
fruitful for this country.
Okay. Sanjay Jha, please respond to that. Look, no one has any objection, or at least I don't have any objection with the fact that Rahul Gandhi came and spoke on the budget and raised some pertinent questions that the government needs to answer. For example, this 500 billion, investments that we will be making in the US, buying things from them. The fact if the US is dictating whether India will buy oil from X country or Y country, right? Whether our tariffs have gone up from 3% to 18%, and why have they gone up, and why have the US tariffs come down? All these are valid questions. There is absolutely no problem with these questions. This was a substantial speech. Why did Mr. Rahul Gandhi have to drag in Prime Minister ने देश को बेच दिया और Epstein files का shadow है trade deal में? Where is the Epstein file shadow on the trade deals?
Shreya, good evening. I have always liked to be on your program because the conversation is very civilized and there are no interruptions. Let me make 3 very quick points. The trade deal is a disaster. It's an absolute unmitigated disaster. And I'm not saying it alone. I can tell you, or anybody who knows elementary economics will tell you, Rahul Gandhi hits the ball out of the park by saying it is a sellout. It's a sellout of epic proportions. And I think India as a country will be embarrassed by it when they know the details. Second point, on Adani, I think Bhavya is absolutely 100% right. I'm a banker. I'm an ex-banker. I live in Mumbai. If a foreign government sends a summons to an industrialist of a country, one of the richest men in the world and richest in India, saying that you are accused of bribery, and the government of the country does not give those summons to the industrialist, that's a massive scam. It's a massive scam. Let's not even talk about it. Let me come to Epstein. On Epstein, I want to make one disclosure. It's my responsibility. I have always been very transparent. Mr. Hardeep Puri happens to be a good friend of mine. And I recuse myself on talking about it. I also want to make a second point. Mr. Hardeep Puri is actually not the central figure in the Epstein acquisition. I'll tell you where the problem lies, and Bhavya has mentioned that. Pay attention to this, Shreya, I won't take too long. In the UK, Keir Starmer is under pressure to resign as a prime minister because he appointed an ambassador in Britain who's in the Epstein file called Peter Mandelson. Now, here is my question to you. As Bhavya correctly mentioned, and I have tweeted about this, so this is no secret. Let me tell you the truth. You have an industrialist who got the Rafale deal. who is the brother of Mr. Mukesh Ambani, who is actually writing repeated emails to Jeffrey Epstein, talking about representing India in Washington and getting Mr. Modi to actually have a conversation with Trump, Steve Bannon, and Jared Kushner. And then, as Bhavya rightly mentioned, apparently sang and danced in Israel to please Trump. This is a serious issue. That's the real point, not Mr. Hardeep Puri.
Tushar, please respond.
Good evening, Shreya. Always wonderful to be on your show. And since everyone is talking about facts, can I just point out that our leader of opposition in the parliament was reading out from a fact sheet that has already been retracted by the US government. He was reading an old version of the fact sheet on the trade agreement that already has removed the mention of pulses. The commitment of $500 billion has become the intention to buy $500 billion worth of goods.
Correct.
So here is an LOP whose entire... The effective tariffs, yes, it will change for the Congress spokesperson. 42% of our exports. Yes, I am sure. If you have the capacity to listen, it will change.
Bhavya,
yes, it will change.
Bhavya,
yes.
Let Tushar speak.
If you stop mumbling and actually read, they will change. 42% of our exports are actually going to have an effective tariff of far less than 18%. Pharma is already close to zero. Can you even tell me the top 3 exports to US from India? Can you tell me? Do you even know the value of exports to India? Can you tell me the trade surplus, how much it has doubled? Do you even understand basic economics, basics, numbers before just shouting and interrupting everyone? Keep quiet. Shreya, here's the point. Rahul Gandhi had a wonderful opportunity to talk about the budget. But he's not read the budget document. He starts off with speeches saying that there is nothing futuristic about the budget. He doesn't mention the critical mineral corridors that are going from the non-BJP states. In fact, Kerala and Tamil Nadu both are there. He talks about the data centers. He says India ka data bahar ja raha hai. Does he not understand that the data centers that will be built in India will also contribute to data localization? Does he not understand that data localization will also serve the IT industry as they're going to cloud services and they're going to cloud solutions and further AI solutions that they'll export to the West? So here's my question to Rahul Gandhi. He had all the opportunity to make some sensible points, hoping against hope. But again, he comes across as a man who's not well read. Sanjay Jha or the Congress spokesperson, whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day, Rahul Gandhi on the floor of the parliament is reading documents that are outdated, is not reading the budget documents, and is coming across looking like a completely, unread, unacquainted person.
Okay, Bhavya, the point, let me just add a point here. This debate could have been solely on what Rahul Gandhi said on the budget, right? Because that would have been the entire purpose of Rahul Gandhi going on the floor of the House and speaking. Yet he made the budget a sideshow and instead made this about the Epstein files. Now, if you sensationally drag in the Epstein files and try and portray, a scandal on people where no scandal may exist, then obviously people are going to talk about the Epstein file and not the substantiative part of his speech. Is it a self-goal?
Shreya, you need to know that Rahul Gandhi's role is not just of an MP there, that he will just take one issue and speak. He has the responsibility, he has to answer the nation, he has to stand and speak for the people of this country. If the Prime Minister's name is being mentioned in Epstein's file in such a derogatory manner...
No, the Rahul Gandhi has not mentioned it. Rahul Gandhi has not said that in Parliament. He has mentioned 2 names, Mr. Hardeep Puri and Anil Ambani. Hai na? He has not mentioned the Prime Minister. So why are you mentioning the Prime Minister, madam? आप देख लीजिए आपके लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन ने ही नहीं किया.
Okay, you didn't interrupt Tushar, so I don't think you should interrupt me. Let me finish this. Anil Ambani has been addressed as Modi's man in his emails. If you read one second,
and we will believe what is written by Epstein and not what the MEA said, calling all these. Calling this trash talk and nothing more. Anyhow, go ahead, Bhavya.
So MEA will just come out and say it's trash talk. Let the Prime Minister come out and say, I did not sing or dance in Israel. And that it has nothing to do with me, Anil Ambani being called as my man. So you will just keep quiet? No, Prime Minister has to come out. He has to make a statement. If the President of US is directly saying that he can actually, destroy the political career of a Modi, and he is becoming a mockery on a global stage, and he's just quiet about it.
If you always want to believe the Americans, then Bhavya, maybe you should also believe what Mr. Trump says.
Oh my God, Shreya, what are you saying?
Because Mr. Trump says Modi is a tough negotiator. He is a tougher negotiator than me. This is, by the way, all on camera. Tougher negotiator than me. There is no competition here. मतलब आप अपने मतलब की बात बिलीव करेंगे, दूसरों के मतलब की बात नहीं बिलीव करेंगे.
I'm believing Trump, Shreya. I'm believing in Trump. Whatever Trump said, that Modi is listening to him. That he is the one who is, he even spoke about Operation Sindhur. He even said like US trade deal is for them and Modi is agreeing to not buy oil from Russia. I'm believing Trump. That's what I'm saying. You asked me to believe
you
Trump.
believe Trump, but why should you believe Epstein?
Why should
a convicted sex offender?
I am not believing Epstein. I'm just seeing the facts. I'm just reading the emails that have been published by Department of Justice.
But the email very clearly is...
Why would I even...
But does the email have anything hanky-panky? Does the email have any reference to Mr. Hardeep Puri going to the infamous island? Nahi, na. So why should Rahul Gandhi insinuate as much?
One point, Shreya. Respecting the enthusiasm of the fellow Congress spokesperson, I must remind her that it was Congress in 2022 that accused the Prime Minister of blooding his hands and financing Vladimir Putin's war when we pivoted towards Russian crude. Only because we were getting it at a discounted rate and the world crude was hitting $150 a barrel. That time the Congress was upset that why are you buying Russian oil? Why are you going against the West? And today also we are saying the same thing, that if an externality arises, if the price becomes a factor, we are going to buy oil from whoever we deem fit. That is how our oil imports work. But the Congress wants to tell you that in 2022, what we were against, in 2026, we are fighting for it. This is a party that is made up of confused contrarians. And this Congress spokesperson is one of them.
So he's actually saying the US president can bully all he wants. He can bully the Indian Prime Minister. We are not going to respond to this. We will listen to the US Prime Minister. We will stop buying oil from Russia because we want, because he has a grip over Prime Minister.
But today Lavrov has said,
any action to be
but Sanjay Jha, today only Mr. Lavrov has said that only Trump is saying that India will not buy oil from Russia. No one else is saying it. India has not said it. Russia has not said it, Mr. Jha.
Shreya, let me tell you, we cannot ignore this issue by, as I say, brushing it off. There is a law that as part of the agreement, the American government is going to monitor. That is the ultimate shame for us. The US government is going to monitor our performance on Russian oil. And if there is even a suspicion of a deviation, the tariffs will be back in full steam. Let me tell you, India's integrity, its sovereign independence is looking so compromised. It's embarrassing. It's very embarrassing. And let me give you another example. It is not even a reciprocal tariff. We are going to have 0% tariff on American agriculture and industrial products, while America will have 18%. And before this so-called great trade deal, India was imposing 37% tariff, which is now 0. America was actually having 3%, which is 18. This is an absolute rubbish, garbage discount sale of Flipkart.
I didn't again expect it any better than Sanjay ji. It was average tariff was 3%. And even after this trade deal, average tariff is 3%. It is not 18%. He can go and cross-check, or maybe he knows and he deliberately speaks incorrect things. One. Second, if I want to remind him that there was a time when, unfortunately, I was not happy about it, the Indian Prime Minister had to wait 8-9 hours just to meet the President of America. And here is Lutnick complaining that he did not get a call. There was a call that was required by Indian Prime Minister and the call didn't come. There are so many statements by trade advisors and others.
A quick one.
We actually negotiated a trade deal on equal terms. What better people who do not understand trade, they are making such kind of statements. We are one of the few rare countries in this world who have been able to navigate the two great powers, USA and Russia together. You tell me a country that has been able to do that. But then they were very happy with such kind of subservient behaviors towards the West. And they are in awe of that. We are not doing this.
Sanjay Jha, I'll let you respond, but please also respond to my initial question. Why did the Epstein files have to be dragged into what was to be a budget speech? Please, I still cannot make sense of it.
I will answer both your questions. You're absolutely right. Let me address the first one. I think Hardeep Puri is not the central figure in the Epstein file. The central figure is Anil Ambani, and Anil Ambani has to be interrogated for two reasons. His proximity to the Prime Minister, and Mr. Bariyar has the audacity to lie on your program to say that we were in direct negotiations with Washington. You needed an industrialist. You needed Jeffrey Epstein for an appointment for Mr. Modi in the White House. It's so embarrassing. I'm red-faced, man. I mean, what are you talking? Don't mislead the viewers, please. Don't mislead the viewers. You're being unethical, you're lying, and it's fake news.
The average tariff was 3%. Probably you not read or you are unaware.
You know, I heard Sanjay Jha's views on the Russian oil. But here's Sanjay Jha in 2022 saying, so effectively India is okay with the massacre of innocent people in Ukraine as long as we get cheap Russian oil. And today the same man is asking if we'll ever buy Russian oil again. These people are confused, contrarians, compulsively attacking the Prime Minister. In 2022, they did not understand our pivot towards Russian crude, our energy security, our immunity to inflation. Today, they are understanding energy security. So, you know, these are selective hypocrites with selective amnesia, and I don't think we should take them seriously.
ठीक है, 10 seconds to Sanjay, 10 seconds to Bhavya, and maybe 10 seconds to Mr. Bariyar. Go ahead.
Shreya, I stand by my statement. But my second point is even more important, that today, under pressure from Donald Trump, who's using a whiplash, we have decided to buy more expensive oil from Venezuela, which America toppled the government of, which means we are directly endorsing it, and more expensive oil from America. What ethics do we have left at all in our international relations? We have no ethics left. We stopped buying from Iran under pressure from Trump and Biden. Mr. Modi is the weakest prime minister in history.
Go ahead.
Mr. Modi is the weakest prime minister in history.
We have a working FTA with the European Union. We have a working FTA with the European Union. What weakest prime minister? What weakest prime minister, Sanjay?
You've got 9 trade deals and you're calling him a weak prime minister. Sanjay Jha, this is unfair. Go ahead, Bhavya. 10 seconds, my producer is saying time up.
You're such a hypocrite. If India had stopped trading with Russia because of Ukraine war, we would be proud of it. Not because US president has a leash on a prime minister's neck. You get that? That is called an independent country, taking independent decision, having courageous prime minister, not calling himself a 56-inch chest and being a coward, just listening to the president of US and dancing and singing for his entertainment.
Manish, last word.
I'm very sorry. Normally, I do not make personal attacks, but I find these statements are dim-witted. The same as I feel that dim-witted is the leader of opposition who speaks nonsense on the floor of the parliament, doesn't add any value to this discussion in the country, probably doesn't understand and is being tutored and schooled by leftist people who do not understand that left has already gone to the bunkers. So therefore, they will not understand, and maybe deliberately they speak like that. India is right on the cusp of a major international becoming a superpower, and probably they are very jealous of it that this government has been able to do it. They can't just digest it.
We leave it there for the moment. Bhavya, thank you very much. Manish, thank you very much for joining us. Tushar, good to have you on the show. And Sanjay, good to have you on the show. The idea always on the show is to get everyone's point of view in, and I hope we've managed to do that. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm still trying to figure out where the Epstein link is to the Indo-US trade deal. I haven't found one. Well, the parliament will now, if at all the government goes ahead with the privilege notice against Mr. Rahul Gandhi, and it should happen any time now, then Mr. Rahul Gandhi will probably have to produce proof. We'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. On that note, a quick break. There's more on the other side. Do stay with us.